11:44 in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, I don't know if Baran was rocking along on his bicycle when he was singing that, but thank you very much for staying with us. We're going to focus now on the Tobago International Cycling Classic, which makes a welcome return to the local cycling calendar. It's happening this week, starting on Thursday all the way until Sunday. It's a 4-day event, and this year 25 international cyclists, including two-time winner Oscar Pachon of Colombia, are set to participate. Multiple champion and Tobago boy Emil Abraham, top international competitor for many, many years, is also confirmed to face the starter. 25 regional and 40 local Division 1 cyclists are scheduled to race. The TTIC race director Jeff Charles joins us now. Mr. Charles, very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. All in place for the start of action on Thursday. Good morning to you, Mr. Charles.
Good morning, Fazir, and thank you for having me. Yes, after some hurdles and some challenges, I think we are all set for a really exciting 4 days of cycling in Tobago. We are ready and excited to go.
And what about the challenge of actually getting to Tobago? Because we have Tobago Carnival coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Is that presenting a challenge as far as all competitors and all those associated with putting together the classic to get to Tobago on time? Is that a challenge?
Well, that was one of my major challenges, not only from Trinidad to Tobago, but getting into Tobago by some of the European teams, the North American teams, South American teams. I know it's still uncertain times, but the airfare travel to get in and out of Tobago is a lot more difficult than it was 2 years ago, let's put it that way. So a lot of the cyclists and teams faced challenges in getting to Tobago and had to cancel reluctantly and very disappointing, more disappointed than I was. But yes, it's difficult to get into Tobago, and now we are seeing that the Trinidadians are getting some problems to get in and out of Tobago for this week. So yes, there's some challenges, but for zero, in everything you have challenges and you just have to overcome them,
Absolutely. And therefore, let's look ahead to the actual competition. What can we look forward to? Because it's going to be 4 days of competition around and about the Sister Isle of Tobago. And I know people who have been yearning for the return of the TICC. It's back on, and people will be at the various locations looking to see the cyclists go past. So what can we look forward to from Thursday?
Well, as I said, we have a scaled-down version of the event this year because we anticipated that it's going to have some challenges, so we didn't want to go full scale. But what we do have is that we have a small field, but a quality field. We have some really top cyclists taking part this year. We should have in Division 1, which is the international, should have about 40 cyclists taking part in that. Yes, our own Emil Abraham, at 48 years old, will also be taking part. He's still very fit. Not too sure he'll be a winner, but he's still very fit and very much involved in the international circuit. And of course, from Trinidad point of view, we only have maybe 6 or 7 cyclists taking part in Division 1 from Trinidad. And that is understandable because, with the 2-year break, a lot of people hung up their bikes, no activity, nothing going on. So we need to kickstart the sport. And I think this event for the Caribbean is what will kickstart cycling again in the Caribbean, because it has been on a lull for 2 years and more,
And Mr. Charles, how challenging has it been, as well as we even talk about the competitive element of it? What about the sponsorship element of it? Because this is a very costly exercise if you're talking about international riders, regional riders, not just the local riders, putting everything together. Has that been a task as well?
Very, very much so. But again, I kind of anticipated that there will be challenges with sponsors coming back on board. The sponsorship has been tight this year, very tight. I'm happy to say, though, that most of our sponsors came back on board. But nonetheless, I guess we have to get the feet wet again with the event. They haven't been around for 2 years. So sponsorship has been very tough. But I think we are okay for this year. Luckily, we have scaled down the event. And we have made some cuts in different areas. But the event should more or less be very much like before, just a scaled down version. So yes, the money is less, the stages are less, we have less cyclists, but I think it's going to be a great 4 days of cycling.
And as far as this event, you know, as you said, you're facing the economic realities, the logistic realities, it's been scaled down. But is the intention, based on how things go, to really ramp it up moving forward towards 2023, 2024, God willing, so it gets back to the level of prominence that it enjoyed previously?
Well, that is exactly right, 100% right, Fazir. Hit the nail on the head. My reason for putting it on back this year, although I knew I would face some challenges, is like will be the building block, the foundation to really go full scale next year. You know, you have to kind of start it back, get it back on the international cycling calendar, get it back into the sponsorship and things like get sponsors involved again, get cyclists to know that we are back on track, you know, and go full scale next year. So yes, this is, in my mind, a preview to what will happen next year and the year after and the year after. This event is going to go on for a while. Yes.
And therefore, Mr. Charles, before we conclude, and we're really grateful that the event is back on because it was something that many people look forward to. As far as the event itself, fitting into the whole idea of sport tourism, and I'm kind of hesitant talking about it because I'm tired here about sport tourism and then see people talk, and you don't really see the things being put in place. But clearly, this is an event, if properly presented with all of the logistics of flights and accommodation, could be a massive revenue earner for the sister island, by extension, Trinidad and Tobago. Do you think that the real potential of the TICC has been really taken advantage of in any way to really make it a major event?
Absolutely not. And as you talk about sport tourism, we hear a lot of talk about sport tourism from different sectors of Trinidad and Tobago, but I don't think they really and truly invest in sport tourism in this country. And I think sport tourism is a huge income earner for Trinidad and Tobago. West Indies cricket, you know, we have the cycling, athletics. I mean, you can do so much, but you're quite right. I just think they talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. I do think that the TICC is one of the biggest sporting events in the Caribbean that can attract worldwide audiences and people to come into Tobago and into Trinidad. But it needs the support of the different agencies, the THA, the Ministry of Sport, Ministry of Tourism, you know, the Hotel Association, the Caribbean Airlines. But, you know, it's very difficult to get them on board. So most of it is done with my team. But yes, the potential is absolutely there.
And that goes without saying, by definition, if you see how cycling events are conducted all over the world, they are massive exercises with a lot of logistics, a lot of planning, but it requires planning from now for next year's event and the year's event to come. But I understand the challenges that way. But before we conclude, just a final word to our audience as to the event. Yes, it's scaled down, but is it something that the average spectator can look forward to over the 4 days from Thursday to Sunday?
Oh yeah, absolutely so. As I said, the quality of the cyclists that are going to be here in Tobago is, I mean, top quality. It's going to be very exciting, very competitive. I mean, I couldn't choose a winner, and I think it's going to be exciting. We ask the spectators to come out and support the sport. The Trinidadians come across Tobago and support it. And let's get cycling back on the road, not only Trinidad and Tobago, but in the Caribbean, because we have a lot of Caribbean cyclists coming in, you know. This is like their Tour de France. So we're hoping to make a good showing this year. And I am excited about it. And I am confident that we're going to be successful.
Mr. Charles, we want to thank you very much indeed for taking the time, and I think many people, even those who are not cycling fans, are happy that the TICC is back on, because it's just a part of the landscape of Tobago, the 4 days, the competition, the riding through various locations. It just begs for tourism to come on board properly to capitalize on the event. But who knows, maybe one of these good days the authorities will wake up to those realities. But we thank you very much as always for taking the time.
Thank you very much for sharing this moment with me. I hope you keep your eyes on the event. Thank you.
I'll certainly try my best to follow the event indeed. Thank you very much once again. 7:55 in Trinidad and Tobago. Let's take a quick break before we're back to wrap up the show.